Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to connect R with Tableau. So if you're trying to run any of the R code on Tableau, this is trying to establish a connection between the two programs. So here on my right, I am showing you the process in terms of trying to connect to R and Tableau. So that's going to be a 4-point or a 5-point process here. So the fifth point is just conducting a simple regression on the connected R and Tableau. And so I'm going to follow these procedures, and the programs are going to be on your left. So the first thing that I need to do is I'm going to open R. So here I have my R program open. So once I have my R program, and I'm going to open my Tableau as well. So here on my left again, I have a blank Tableau open right here. So the data source that I'm going to be using is the Superstore data source that I'm sure many of you are already very much familiar with it. It's the default data source that is provided by Tableau. Okay, so now I have my first step and my second step done. And now I'm going to be opening my R serve, okay, so which is going to be the R server here. So I'm going to go back to my R. And in order to open up my R server, I need to load the library. So I am going to be loading my library rserve. Okay, and for those people who do not have rserve installed, please make sure that you install rserve. So once I load that library, I'm going to be opening up the rserve function. Okay, so now I am going to be executing the rserve function, and I'm going to hit enter, and which means that R is going to be ready to receive any of the external connections that is going to be linking to my R program. Okay, so now my rserve is open, and now I'm going to go to my fourth step, which is going to be connecting Tableau to my R server. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my Tableau here. Okay, and once I go back to my Tableau, I'm going to click on Help and go to Setting and Performances and click on Manage Analytics Extension Connections. So I'm going to be trying to establish a extension connection. And the one that you have an option is rserve or tabpy. So that is, some of you are using Python, then that's going to be tabpy. If you're going to be using rserve, that's the case for us. So I'm going to be connecting to rserve. Okay, and the server number is just going to be a localhost. You're going to be using your localhost to connect to our server, and the port number is going to be 6311. And I can just click on OK, but just to make sure that I do have a valid connection, I'm going to test my connection here. And here I'm going to click Test Connection, and I do get a pop-up saying that successfully connected to the analytics extension, which means that yes, now you have connected Tableau to the R server. Okay, so I'm going to click on OK here, and I'm going to also click on OK to the analytics extensions. So now let's try to execute whether we in fact have our Tableau and R server is connected. So let's try to run a simple regression here. So again, I'm going to be using the Superstore data. And again here, the data source is, again, the Superstore data. And let's try to drag in one of the sheets. And I'm going to drag in the West Coast. So that is the west part of the Superstore. And I'm sure many of you are already familiar with this. So it's a default data set that is provided by Tableau, and it is imaginary retailer that has the row IDs, order IDs, customer IDs, ship dates, and what a typical retailer would be having. Okay, so that's the data source here, and I'm going to go back here to Sheets. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to be running a simple regression. Okay, and that regression is going to be get a predicted profit. Okay. So I do have a measurement that is of profit, okay, which is the actual profit. Okay, but however, let's say that I want to have a predicted profit. And my regression line is going to be having two independent variables, which is going to be discount and sales. So that is, I'm going to say that the predicted profit is going to be a function of discount and sales. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to be creating a new variable. So I do have profit, but I would like to have a predicted profit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and right click, and where it says create, and I'm going to click on calculated field. Okay, and the calculated field is going to be a variable of whatever choice that I'm going to make. So like I said, I'm going to be making a new variable that's going to be called predicted profit. Okay, so once I have my predicted profit, okay, in order to run a R script into Tableau, okay, you would need to use a script reel. Okay, so the script reel function is going to be right here. Not script int. It's going to be script reel. Okay, and in that script reel, everything is going to be in between quotation marks. Okay, and like I said, the function that I'm going to be creating, the regression line that I'm going to be creating is going to be profit, predicted profit is going to be equal to two independent variables, which is going to be discount and sales. Okay, and how that's going to be run in the script for R is going to be my dependent variable y is going to be my first argument. Okay, let's just use the lowercase here. So y is going to be my first argument, and for R connecting into Tableau, the first argument is going to be .arg1. Okay, and my first independent variable is going to be .arg2. And my second independent variable is going to be .arg3. Okay, once I have that, okay, I'm going to fit the line, and like I said, it's going to be a linear regression, and the linear regression function in R is lm, and that's going to be defined as y tilde. Okay, y is my dependent variable, x1 is my first independent variable, and x2 is going to be my second independent variable. Okay, and what I'm going to be returning is going to be the fitted value of this function, okay, or fitted value of the fit. Okay, so it's going to be fit, and fitted dot value is going to be my return variable. Okay, so now I am going to be ending my script here. So let's try to have no spaces in between the scripts. And now I need to find what my arg1, arg2, and arg3 are going to be. Okay, so I'm going to be having a comma. And if you remember, my arg1, my first argument is going to be predicted profit. Okay, so it is going to be in terms of written in Tableau terms. So it's going to be sum of my profit. Okay, so that's going to be my arg1. So I have written my arg1, which is my first argument, and that's going to be y, my dependent variable. And remember, according to this regression function, profit is going to be my dependent variable. Okay, and you might notice that I do have a sum here, and the reason that the sum function is required in terms of Tableau is that obviously in some cases when you're going to be aggregating the data, it is going to be aggregating the sum of the profit whenever you're going to be calculating your predicted profit. Okay, so you cannot just use profit, but you have to use sum of the profit in this case to make sure that your arg1, your dependent variable y, is defined as sum. Okay, now let's go on to the second argument. So that was arg2, and that's going to be x1. And our x1, again, it's going to be discount. Okay, so now I'm going to place a comma here. And just like before, I do need my sum function. Okay, and again, my second argument, okay, so that's going to be x1, and that's going to be discount here. Okay, so it's going to be defined as discount right here, and that's going to be referring to my arg2. Okay, and now I have my arg3. Okay, again, I'm going to separate that by a comma. Okay, and again, my arg3 is in fact sales. Okay, so that is x2, that is going to be sales. Okay, so again, I'm going to be needing this sum function. Okay, and I'm going to be referring to sales, and that's going to be my arg3. Okay, so this is going to be the script that I will be using, and again, just make sure that you have a calculation that is valid on your left bottom corner of this pop-up. And now I'm going to click on OK. And once I click on OK, you could see that I have created a new variable that is called predicted profit. Okay, and unlike the other profits, you could see that there is an equal sign in front of this icon that is indicating that is a number. Okay, now with having that said, okay, now let's go ahead and have a table here. Okay. And let's look at the differences between the predicted profit and the profit for each of the states. Okay, so let's try to drag in states, and that's going to be rows here. Okay, and you can see that my predicted profit is already here. Okay, and let's try to see if there are any differences with just the profit. Okay, so I have just dragged in the profit here. And now you can see that the predicted profit is actually identical to the actual profit here. And you might be saying that, oh, maybe there's something wrong. In this case, what you need to adjust, maybe for some of your cases, if you get the right profit, that's fine, right predicted profit, that is, that's going to be fine. But if not, what you need to do is that maybe you need to adjust what is going to be your cell. Okay, in this case, it seems that it is using the cell, which is not the correct profit that you're going to be using. You're actually going to be using the whole state. Okay, and I'm going to click on the whole state as what I'm going to be predicting. So if I click on state, now you could see that the predicted profit has changed a little bit. And now it's going to be seeing that there are some differences between the actual profit and the predicted profit. Okay, so hopefully this was a good session to show you a example of connecting R to Tableau and having a quick example by running a simple regression. Okay, hope you had enjoyed this video, and thank you.